What's good, YouTube, man? It's Debbie Dev Reacts back with another reaction. This time we got a crime reaction. You know what I'm saying? I be watching these sometimes, but I don't record them. You know what I'm saying? So I need to start recording these, because they be crazy and they be interesting. I seen this come across my timeline. Lonely husband kills wife and records everything. Um, we just gonna get right into it, man. This, like I said, bro, you never know who going through some. You never know nothing, really. You just gotta stay safe and stay prayed up. Like, those are two things you have to say. Make sure y'all, before we start, make sure y'all leave love, man. I'm finna say, you don't love me? Do you trust me? You for me? But anyway, let's get into it.
I don't care what you did. I'm sorry about what I did. Just please come home. Please.
What does it mean, lonely husband? If you're a husband, have a wife, how did you kill her? Let me watch.
Just please.
This is Joseph Paul DeWise, and his deteriorating relationship with his wife, Lauren, is slowly ruining his life.
I'm driving and I'm crying. I don't want to go without you. I'm sorry.
She wanted a divorce.
I will do better.
She wanted a
I
divorce.
promise.
Over the years,
No offense, but just off of that, video alone, you could tell this is his first real relationship. This is his first real girlfriend. This is his first real wife. Like, this is first first body, first ever. That's all I need from somebody. 1 second. I really take it psychology. Like, I really do that I don't take it, but I really do that. I took it at class, but I really do that psychology stuff. Like, that's all I need from you. That's his first everything. So that means if you leave, he's going to go crazy. He's going to go ballistic. He's going to literally, like, yeah, like, he's swift. He's so tight. He's locked. So you have to be careful around people like that. You do. Like, you do. Like, you really, 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 really do. I don't even know if I want, like, this is crazy. Like, you recording yourself cry. All right, let's get into it.
Lauren had lost her feelings for Paul, but Paul's love for her had only grown stronger.
See, I don't know if I'm gonna keep talking. I'm sorry. If you don't like the video, click off. I'm gonna keep talking. If you're my wife, what do you mean you lost feelings for me? That's what you. Is this forever? Like, this is forever. What you mean? You lost feelings for me? What do you mean? You're my wife. See, that's the things, bro. You can't just lose feelings for me. I mean, you can't just lose feelings for me. What do you mean? You're my wife. I don't like you no more. It's till death do us apart. We skipped over that line. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm not saying she the problem.
And to cope with slowly losing the love of his life, Paul turned to drinking, sending his mental state into a downward spiral. His love for Lauren would turn into hatred.
And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm just an innocent victim now.
Just leave me.
Why don't you attack me in front of the camera?
Just leave
Why don't you talk to me like you did a minute ago?
And that's what this is about. And I'm angry, and it's hard for me to live with.
Paul could only bear the pain for so long. His complex emotions turned into obsession, leading him to stalk Lauren, where he soon discovered she was going on dates with other men. Eventually, enough was enough.
Good night, Lauren. I hope you sleep well.
They have kids?
On the night of January 7th, 2018, Lauren DeWise would be found dead in her bedroom. It was confirmed that Paul was responsible.
I live at 1308. It's the next door neighbor. She just came over in hysterics and says somebody shot her roommate.
What makes this case specifically so interesting is that Paul recorded his entire mental downfall, from the start of his issues with Lauren all.
Do you still want to go to church with I love you, Can't really read that.
The way to the tragic end.
is crazy.
For the past 6 months, I've
What's
worked
crazy is I literally just seen something on Twitter that said a girl recorded a video of her saying like, I'm breaking up with my husband, we getting a divorce. But she was saying like it's gonna be all good, we're going 50-50, he's gonna take care of the kids. He ended up killing her. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna say men love crazy, but they're like crazy. They're crazy. Like, you gotta be careful who you dating, man. You gotta be careful. Cause like everybody can't break up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't just break up. Some people are really crazy. Really crazy.
Worked with a handful of police stations,
Really
district
crazy.
attorneys, and news networks to gather the entire recorded life of Joseph Paul DeWise.
You don't kill
This
somebody, bro. That's
is
wild.
his full story.
He looked like somebody I know.
This was a letter to Lauren, written by Paul on July 24th, 2017. It indicates the first real sign of Paul and Lauren's relationship.
I have no excuse for what happened last night. I am a very bad person for you right now. I had no right to do what I did. It was someone's fault, but mine. I hate myself. Wait, so he wrote this to her. What? I do not deserve you. Like, bro, leave me then. I was completely at fault. Why did I do that? You asking me? I am totally and utterly wrong behavior. You have every right to never forgive me. So why am I dead? I am not good. I am very wrong, and But why are you crossing out words? I have no reason to be loved by you or the kids. So you have kids. I ruined it.
Relationship problems, but also Paul's dark tendency of self-hatred.
I have no excuse for what happened
Of
last
course,
night.
they read it.
I am a very bad person for you right now. I hate myself. I do not deserve you. I have no reason to be loved by you or the kids. I ruined everything. You deserve someone way better than me.
Paul wrote this letter just hours after a heated argument with Lauren, where he lost his temper and screamed at her, all in front of their 3 children. This was likely one of many arguments that took place in the home, because after this incident, Lauren would leave their home, stating, "I'll only return for the kids." Looking at the letter, it's clear that Paul felt immense guilt for screaming in front of his children, perhaps even more than most would. And there's a very good reason for that. In his journal, Paul would often write about growing up in an abusive household. In one entry, he described walking in on his father screaming and choking his mother,
Wow.
her face turning purple from the strangulation.
Wow.
Perhaps Paul felt he had followed in his father's footsteps by becoming aggressive
It's
towards
always
Lauren
trauma,
in
bro.
front
It's
of their
always
children,
trauma. It's always
something
trauma.
that likely embarrassed him. But instead of apologizing for his outburst, he chose a different path. He would begin manipulating his children, convincing them that he had done nothing wrong, even going as far as recording these statements to show Lauren later on.
How do you feel about what happened with Lauren?
I'm angry and sad, and I don't know.
I'm upset. I'm mad. I don't understand. It's overwhelming. The only damage that I feel that has been done by is honestly Lauren. I mean, everything was fine until
Why are they calling their mom first rate?
she decided that she wanted to do what she did.
Was it my fault? Was I a bad husband to Lauren? No.
Are you glad it's just gonna be me, you, Joe, and no? Why?
Because Mama moved away.
She's the only one calling her
Yeah.
mama.
Lauren had moved out of the house, and Paul's attempts at manipulation only pushed her further away. In turn, his abandonment issues worsened, spiraling into paranoia over the thought of Lauren falling in love with someone else. There are numerous examples of Paul's paranoia, but certain examples are particularly notable. One thing Paul would consistently do over these years was send relentless barrages of text messages. They would usually start out in a calm, collected way.
I respected you, and so did the community. Now you are someone else. You aren't building love in the family anymore. Mostly insecurity, and frustration, and sadness.
But would quickly spiral into unintelligible rants of self-hatred and aggressive accusations.
Now I am depressed again. How can you not care? How can you make me deal with this by myself?
Why won't you save us?
I'm sick again, and my counselor had to cancel.
I am a pathetic piece of crap now. I am completely alone.
My life is ruined. My money is gone. My body is broken. My wife doesn't care about me except to hurt me.
You are abusive. You. I am crazy now. Great job.
Always ending with some type of accusatory comment, likely to make Lauren feel guilt over not being there for him. Another thing he would regularly do was contact people in Lauren's life. One notable example would be towards Lauren's female co-worker, who Paul suspected to be bisexual.
I would appreciate it if you would stay away from my wife. You are not a good influence for her, and she is acting like a single woman. I don't not trust you as I reached out to you, and you ignored me. My wife needs family-oriented friends, not friends that married people and aren't friends enough to help in crisis.
Paul's messages to Lauren and her friends continued for months, growing increasingly emotional over time. But Lauren would rarely respond. Reading his diaries, it's clear this deeply upset Paul. He felt like he was losing the woman he loved. Desperate for a reaction, he soon turned to sending her videos instead, hoping that would finally grab her attention.
I don't care what you did. I'm sorry about what I did. Just please come home. I don't want to restrict this by myself. And I love you. Please. Just fucking please.
He's disgusting.
Please. I work 2 jobs. I will do anything. I won't be here. I'll be working all the time. Just come home. Please. Please come home. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was so angry. I have a new perspective now.
Paul's emotional swings indicate a deep fear of abandonment, likely stemming from his childhood. With Lauren, he was angry and controlling. Without her, he was desperate and self-pitying. When she responded, it would briefly ease his distress, but unfortunately for Paul, Lauren would stop responding altogether. On November 14th, Paul's worst fears of abandonment would come true. He would discover clues that Lauren had started going out again. And later that same week, he signed up for VSync GPS tracking services and registered her phone to the system. Paul would start stalking her. He would take pictures of Lauren and the various bars she would go to and store them away to confront her with later.
He's different, bro.
But on November 14th, things took a dark turn when, while stalking her, Paul discovered Lauren in her car with a co-worker named Kevin making out.
Whoa.
It seemed to confirm his deep fear of being abandoned as he stood there watching it all unfold.
Whoa.
Kevin would eventually leave the vehicle, allowing Paul to rush in and let Lauren know he saw everything that just happened. He'd pull out his phone to record, but would only capture a few seconds.
He loved that phone.
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
Paul would go on to take Lauren's phone, texting Kevin an array of angry messages. However, eventually, Lauren would escape the situation. Approximately Lauren would escape.
I was drunk and drunk. I left my I don't feel bad for nothing this man is doing. But one thing you can say, like, he's a bad person. I'm trying to say, but one thing you can say is, like, he had issues, and like his only issues was her like leaving him, but he didn't know how to be a husband. But I don't give her the right to low-key be doing that. But you're crazy. So, but she should have just moved away. Like if I'm her, she don't want to leave her kids, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm not being nowhere near this man. He's crazy. Especially if you're gonna be, no offense, but no, if you're gonna be messing with other dudes and you know this man is like this, you can't be doing that locally. You know what I'm saying? They both had their own problems.
Escape the situation. Approximately 22 hours after this had taken place, Paul would find Lauren with a different man, Brian.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I mean, I gotta see what they doing, but no offense, Lauren. Are y'all even divorced yet? Are y'all divorced yet? Is what I'm trying to get at. This man is obviously a weirdo, but you're not safe either. But whatever you doing, don't give this man no right to put his hands on you. Don't give him no right to kill you. He should just walk away. But he has attachment issues, and you obviously don't.
The two were simply co-workers, but Paul wasn't going to take any chances. So again, he would go up to the car, this time confronting the man instead of Lauren. This man had absolutely no intimate relationship with Lauren, so he retaliated against these claims, even punching Paul in the face.
Oh. He got that ass beat.
It's another good-looking man.
Oh, the time he gay. Can I even say this word over here? It's another good-looking man. What do you mean? That's the first thing you think of? A good-looking man. What?
Paul,
like, you see why your wife doesn't love you.
was furious. However, instead of begging Lauren to get back together, he would ask her to grab her final belongings from the house and never come back.
You should have did that in the first place, and y'all should have left alone.
This was a sharp distinction from the previous weeks and even months. It seemed like Paul's ongoing desperation for Lauren had bizarrely turned into hatred. Lauren would oblige and go on to take her items from the house, but Paul wouldn't stop there. The next morning, he would take to...
Has anyone in Moline not kiss my wife? I'm the crazy one, and that's crazy that he don't get they kissing. I'm the crazy one because I agreed to stay home and take care of our baby. She is the bank manager at Ryan. Hey, man. Last night I caught Lauren making out with his car outside of a bar. You're pretty beat up. This evening I caught her with a different man. Rocking like she posted this on Facebook, bro. And she said she was in a leadership. I asked her to move out. She came home. She got her belongings. Turned on her location. She's here. She don't like you. Now I am single, stay at home dad with 3 kids that need. Also very angry and sad. With everything to me is dang. She kind of sounds like. Okay, that's what he's coming from. That's what he's saying now. He's a good manipulator. He manipulated his kids. It's crazy. But then again, we don't. Is it manipulated? Because like, no. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. No mother is walking out of her kids to leave this man to take care of them. That's wild. This man is a lunatic. She is the best liar I've ever known. You is too. She can lie, looking at me straight in my eye. Get a church. I don't think she likes
to Facebook.
I don't think you like church either. You just killed somebody. That don't sit right with me.
Making a public post stating,
"Has anyone in Bozeman not killed?"
I just read it. Just read it.
And his video recordings made that clear.
Yes, I've been drinking. I'm having beer. But I'm not wasted. I'm very upset. I put up with this shit for years. I didn't realize it because I was blind. And that's what this is about. And I'm angry. And my children are angry. And my baby's angry. And it's hard for me to live with. It's very difficult. It's all about shutting you down. But in Bozeman, there's all these young 30-somethings with tons of money that Lauren's chasing. She loves that. And she's going to step up from me and our family and get ahead. I'm angry. I don't want her to keep her job. I would like to protect the community from her. I'm sure I will be an outcast now because, you know, who tells the truth anymore, right?
Paul continued to bombard Lauren with texts, stalk her, and most of all, fuel his chronic alcoholism, which only worsened his anger issues. At one point, even telling Lauren's friend at a local bar, quote, "I've killed people before, and I'm not afraid to do it again."
Who did you kill? In GTA?
The final straw in Paul's downward spiral came in an incident completely unrelated to Lauren. While out walking with his daughter, Paul would begin threatening a homeowner whose dogs were barking at him from behind a fence. When the man confronted him, an enraged Paul pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed him in the hip. And
What?
Paul would record the entire event.
What?
We just got attacked by these people's dogs. This is my baby. Baby, did you think that dog was gonna get you? I did too. And then this man attacked me behind the dog after this woman. Baby, I'm sorry. I withdrew my knife to defend myself against this man who took me down with a single leg takedown. As the last resort, when my back was on the floor, I struck up with the knife. I struck the man. They pulled the dog away. Now the dog's gone. You okay, baby? I'm so sorry.
You stood here and antagonized.
And see,
This kid is so cute. That's okay. Like,
still,
Dogs were.
I just know that he's the problem because, bro, if you got your kid there, just go away, bro. Go away.
still the aggression
You stood here
with my baby.
antagonizing the dogs. Look at what you're doing to
I'm blocking my baby from this woman.
Look what you're doing to
This is the aggression
Just
these
go
people
away,
have.
bro.
They threatened us when we tried to walk by. Let's get out of here.
Are you some kind of a doper? Are you crazy or what?
The way they talking to him, like he's crazy.
You guys are gonna be out of here. I'm so glad you've been uncovered for what you are.
You better chill the fuck out.
That's right, I should.
You kicked me and I put you on the ground
That's right.
so that you can figure out what's going
It's okay,
on.
baby. That's right. Don't run away.
Don't threaten me and fucking come in my yard and fucking cut me. Drop the knife!
I dropped it.
Get on the ground! Now! Do not move!
It's okay,
Hand
baby.
behind your back!
It's okay.
Hand behind your back! Do not move!
It's okay, baby.
What, the police?
Luckily for Paul, the homeowner had technically put his hands on him first, so the stabbing was considered self-defense.
Wow.
And while he would walk away with no charges, this event would signify that Paul was not
crazy.
afraid of
He
violence,
was
and in
crazy.
fact seemed to endorse it.
Yeah.
On January 6th, 2018,
moving
at
too
11:56 a.m., Paul would text Lauren, inviting her over for some soup.
This
Lauren
man.
would never reply.
Good,
At
Lauren.
3:36 p.m., Paul would text Lauren, asking if they were still meeting for tomorrow. Lauren would reply, "What for? I'd like to pick up my daughter and spend time with her."
Wow.
This seemed to upset Paul, so he would go on his, by this point, usual rant to Lauren, sending messages such as, "I beg you, please don't destroy us. I love you, and we'll do whatever it takes."
Yeah, you
Hours
can't
later,
use it like
at
that,
10:58 p.m., Lauren would reply, "No, thank you."
I'm
A
waiting.
2-hour gap would proceed with no text messages between the two. However, Paul was completing other tasks during this time.
He was getting ready, bro.
First, Paul can be seen on CCTV at the town pump gas station at 12:34 a.m. Additionally, Paul would take a photo from his phone minutes after. While blurry, this photo shows Lauren's current home in the distance, as well as a GPS tracking device inside the vehicle. Following this photo, Paul would send a final text message saying, "I know I'm not supposed to text you now, but I can't sleep. Please, please, please come home. I miss you and love you so much. Please, I love you. We all do. Please just come home. Please."
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Idaho Street, Belgrade. The next door neighbor, she just came over in hysterics and said somebody shot her roommate.
Did it just happen?
Yeah, she said it just happened. She needs ambulance and police.
Okay, where is the person that shot the neighbor?
Who shot? Who's shot? The guy's name was Paul DeWise.
So Paul DeWise is the one that shot the person?
That's what she said, yes. She said her roommate Ashley is the one that's still alive.
Do we know where Paul is now?
She doesn't know if he's still in the house. That's why she ran.
Okay. All right. Is Ashley bleeding seriously?
Was she bleeding seriously? Yes. She said yes.
Okay.
Lauren and her roommate, Ashley, were shot on the morning of January 6th. Their neighbors would hear the gunshot and rush to the home, finding what they saw as a deceased Lauren and a severely wounded Ashley. Additionally, the neighbors would name Paul DeWise as the shooter. Officers would waste no time and rush to the scene immediately.
Where are we at? What's going on?
I stayed at a friend's last night, and I just came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room and she's still alive and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
Okay, so you don't know if there's somebody else in the house?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay.
Lauren looks like she's been in a while, and Ashley's asked me for help, and I ran.
Okay. Is this door open?
Yes.
But when he called, they said that Lauren was saying Ashley got shot. But they said Lauren been there for a while.
Okay, so we have two people upstairs. Is that what you're telling me? Okay. But we don't know if there's anybody else in the house. Is that correct? Okay. Okay.
One apparent dead, one still alive. She said I ran out as soon as I saw that. I have no idea if there's still anybody else in there or not. Okay. So this is open.
Okay.
Footprints in the snow leading up here.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
That's what
Belgrade
anybody
police!
in there, nigga.
Police department!
Paul not in there no more.
Anybody
though.
inside, come out!
Paul would have got his list.
Okay, I got stairwell.
Paul would have got
Police!
Swiss cheese, boy.
326. Where are you at?
Kitchen clear.
Go up there. You just heard her say I
How
need
many people
help.
are inside? We're making entry. How many people?
Go up there. You have a shotgun. No.
Okay.
We're coming.
Belgrade police, show me your hands. We got doors on the left and right.
Police!
Please don't shoot me!
Who shot you?
No, please don't shoot me!
I'm not gonna shoot you.
Please don't shoot me!
One female down, is deceased.
I'm behind you.
Okay, we need medical in here now.
Please don't shoot me!
And we're not gonna shoot you, ma'am.
My name's Ashley!
Ashley, what's going on? Who shot you?
Nobody!
Oh, what happened?
I don't know! Please come here!
Who did?
Are you the police?
I'm the police, right here.
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Where?
Ashley was temporarily blind, with a bullet wound to the back of her head and several others across her body. She had no idea where she was.
Wow. That's why I was kind of confused. What you mean? She got shot in the... She said she didn't even think she was shot. She said, who shot you? He can tell that you got shot. She talking about nobody. She probably losing it right now.
And wasn't
I was gonna say, like, what's going on? Like, am I tripping? Because what do you mean? But, man, this is crazy. Paul, you are a sick...
even aware she had been shot.
She wasn't even aware she got shot.
I'm the police, yes.
This is crazy. You got
Show me your face then.
I'm right here. Can you see me?
No.
Can you see anything?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can you feel my hand? What?
Please don't shoot me.
I'm not gonna shoot you. Where do you hurt?
I don't hurt anywhere.
You don't hurt anywhere?
No. Are you going to hurt me?
No, I don't want to hurt you.
Sad, man.
Okay, please help me.
We're gonna help you, Ashley.
Ashley was not in a communicative state at this point, making this about as difficult a situation as you can get as a police officer. Regardless, this officer would do a heroic job of remaining calm as he continued to talk to Ashley and ensure she stayed awake. Fortunately, medical staff arrived quickly and Ashley would be rushed to the hospital. Whether or not she would survive remained to be seen, but the officer can rest assured knowing that he did everything possible to keep her alive. The other victim, Lauren, would be pronounced dead on the scene. While this is devastating, another problem still had to be solved, and solved fast, as the shooter had not yet been located.
You got the garage cleared?
Yep, he cleared the garage. We got tracks everywhere. Can you move that bed frame or the mattress?
Clear.
Got a man door. Can we go out that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear.
We're clear? Is there tracks going over the top of the fence or anything?
No. Negative.
How about this way?
There's tracks going around that way.
Okay, is our gate open?
The house was clear, meaning whoever killed Lauren had fled immediately. And while he may have gotten away, several clues would be left behind. The most obvious being a trail of bloody footprints leading from the east side of the house over to the back door. At the time, this was a small, irrelevant detail. However, this would become one of the leading pieces of evidence to solve the case later on. By nothing short of a miracle, Ashley would survive the brutal attack. She would undergo multiple emergency surgeries, fracture treatments, and blood transfusions. This was a blessing for not only Ashley and her family, but for the detectives working on the case. Because if Ashley could recall what had happened and who shot her, solving this case would become a whole lot easier. But before we dive deeper into the case, let me tell you about today's sponsor. The best prices across sign up. Let's get back to the video. So, after Ashley had briefly recovered from her surgeries, detectives would sit down for a formal interview. The goal of the interview was to help her recall crucial details about the incident by asking specific, targeted questions, in hopes of triggering memories that might have been buried due to the trauma.
So obviously, you know, we're here to talk to you.
Yes, I do.
And I know this is kind of a tough question, but can you tell me, do you remember anything at all?
When I got shot?
Mm-hmm.
No. No, I do not remember being shot at all.
Wow. Well, yeah, you're a lucky gal, but everything that I've heard, you know, you're a fighter.
It's a miracle I'm alive. I thank God every day.
It's really a miracle.
It is.
The detective would continue asking questions for another 30 minutes, but unfortunately, Ashley was unable to answer anything whatsoever. Again, officers were left confused as to who this killer was and why this happened in the first place. Due to the lack of physical evidence, detectives decided to talk to more witnesses in order to determine a primary suspect. Audria, the neighbor who called for help, had reported Paul as the potential killer during the 911 call. So with this in mind, officers decided it was imperative to speak with Audria to better understand why she would make these claims. And she would waste no time letting officers in on Lauren's abusive relationship with Paul.
We went golfing once this summer.
Okay.
Well, she actually had worked out at my gym. I'm a personal trainer at Big Sky Barbell, and she had come in one day and I saw a bruise on her, and I remember saying, "Dude, what happened to your leg?" And she said, I just ran into something. And I said, 100-mile-an-hour softball? What happened to your leg? She just dismissed it. A couple months later, we were golfing, and she said they'd lived here about a year, and she said, I can't believe I've never told anybody this, but I think I need to leave Paul. He beats me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to contact me every day, and one day would be,
everything I said about that, so death do us apart, facts, but if you getting hit, if you're getting cheated on, getting anything like that, leave again.
You ruined my life, to I can't believe you're helping my wife, to I'm so sorry, this is all my fault, this has nothing to do with you, you did nothing wrong. I mean, he's got a schizophrenic chain of messages that I never responded to. Anyway, yesterday, it's actually been fairly close. She went over to his house for their daughters. They have a 3-year-old daughter. She turned 4 on Thursday.
Audria was well aware Paul was an abusive and psychotic husband prior to Lauren's death. Based on Audria's claims, her suspicion of Paul's involvement would only grow stronger.
I left last night around 9. She had just gotten out of the bath and she had actually said something to me like, I'm just so happy here. I feel safer than I've felt in years. And I remember leaving. I left around 9:30. And I got home this morning. I got home early. And when I walked in, I looked down in my back door frame, 2 pieces of wood were laying on the floor. And I ran upstairs to see if Lauren was okay. She was not okay. I literally the door had been propped open and she always slept with it. And it was open. I walked up and I could see her laying there. So I didn't even walk it all the way into her room. I just looked at her and was like, it looked to me like Lauren was dead when I was there, but I didn't even, my brain went to gunshots because he has like a bicyclist pulled him over, cut him off, got close to him in traffic once. He pulled a pistol on bicycles. He pulled a pistol on Lauren. Before he got banned from Airbnb, he pulled a pistol on Airbnb guest. That's good.
Yeah. Based on Ashley's claims, Paul was not only an abuser, but also notoriously threatened people with the same weapon used to kill Lauren. It was becoming more and more clear that Paul was who detectives ultimately needed to speak with. Safely getting Paul to the police station for questioning was something that needed to be done with extreme precaution. Whoever killed Lauren was armed with a .22 caliber pistol, and if Paul was responsible, a dangerous scenario could occur if police contacted him directly. So, in order to safely secure him, officers devised a complex plan for his arrest. Paul's house would be heavily surveyed the day of the arrest. The moment Paul left his house, the surveillance team would notify the arrest team of his direction of travel. In order to leave his neighborhood, Paul would have to exit either to the west on South 19th Avenue or east on South 3rd Avenue. Units would be blocking both streets, and a high-risk felony stop would be used to take DeWise into custody. With this plan, officers were granted an arrest warrant for Paul, and immediately the operation would go underway. At 9 a.m. the next day, Paul would exit his house in his Chevrolet Suburban. He'd turn west onto South 19th Avenue, where an officer would be waiting for him, and quickly pull the vehicle over.
Okay, open up the door. Keep both hands up. Outside. Okay, go ahead and get out. This is nothing. Get out. Hands up.
Hands up. Walk over here. Turn around. Look away from me. Walk backwards. Keep coming. Keep coming. Stop. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Do not move. Do you understand me? Take him to the back of my car. All right.
They don't play that shit.
The plan had worked perfectly, and Paul was quickly brought to the Bozeman police station for his first formal interrogation. At this point, Paul knows exactly why he's here. His wife had been found murdered. He also knows that, logically, an innocent man wouldn't have that kind of information in the first place. What makes this interrogation particularly interesting is that, despite knowing this, Paul subconsciously steers the conversation towards his wife.
Hi, Paul. Yep. My name's Justin. I'm with the Belgrade Police Department.
Okay.
So you had your...
Remember, at this point, there has been no mention of Lauren whatsoever.
What do you do for work?
I've been a stay-at-home dad for quite a while.
Man, it's the hardest job there is.
Had a couple of accidents, and we ended up switching roles and ended up staying home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going through transition right now, though, so...
Is that right?
Yeah. So.
What kind of transition?
We're separated.
Oh.
Yeah. And in fact, she was supposed to get a baby today.
Oh.
So it's been tough. I hurt my knee back in June, and we had a lot of problems since then, and I had surgery in August, and it caused a lot of problems.
The detectives still haven't mentioned Lauren.
I've had a bunch of injuries in the last few years, and she's pissed off at me about that.
Was it work-related?
No.
What did you do before you stayed at home?
Well, I was a school teacher for 15 years. I taught science before I moved to Montana.
Here?
No, in Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have a biology degree. Yeah, that's how my wife and I met.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we both taught next door to each other. Huh. Yeah. She liked my coffee.
Once again, Paul brings up his wife unprompted. While this is interesting, it's not enough to serve as evidence, so the detectives decide it's time to apply more pressure.
So, the reason that I wanted to talk to you is there were some issues that happened over at Lauren's house this morning, and I just kind of wanted to touch base with you to see if you were over there at all, if kind of where you were this morning, that kind of thing.
What happened?
Well, someone broke into the back door of her place, and so from what I understand, you guys were separated and working on a divorce.
Okay?
That's kind of where we're at.
Is she all right?
Well, not really. She isn't.
What happened?
Well, the person that came in ended up shooting her. So.
She's dead?
Yeah.
The acting is like so trash.
So.
Oh my god.
So that's why we're talking to you, because you guys are going through a divorce, and from what I understand, and we need to kind of figure out what's going on.
This is news to me. I don't know anything about it.
He's funny. It's news to me. Like, bro, no, it's not, bro. You've been new. Don't fall now. Stay up. Alright, but like, I don't know anything about it. Like, you see how he instantly crossed his legs, got his legs crossed his arms, got his legs closed, and rocking back and forth. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Well, let me just say right off the bat, regardless of your relational issues, I understand.
I love her.
Lauren's very important to you.
I love her.
And I'm so sorry that you're going through this right now. This
dead?
place. If, let's say, for...
You think I did it? I didn't do it.
We gotta look at the big picture.
Say you did
I would never do anything.
I'm asking you to give us any information that you can about anything, whether it was you or not.
It's hard to tell whether Paul is genuinely anxious over his wife's passing, or if he's simply putting on a convincing act, panicking, not over grief, but over the realization that the detectives are closing in on him. Notably, Paul would quickly regain his composure and instead redirects the conversation towards Lauren, quickly painting himself as a victim of her actions.
Hands are tingling. You know, I've been having panic problems. I never had it before. Never. I didn't know what a real panic attack was like.
Just since you got here?
No, since we started going through this crap. You know, it started in like July. She's going through like a midlife crisis, and you know, she's staying gone. She's coming home late and drunk. I caught her cheating.
Yeah.
2 days in a row with two different people in the car. You know, and the second time I asked her to leave.
While Paul may think that painting her in a bad light is a smart move, in reality, it only establishes that he had a strong motive for revenge. At this point, the detectives decide it's time to start constructing a timeline, hoping to pin Paul to a version of events they can systematically dismantle.
So, is there anything you can think of? Anything that would help us at all?
I can't think right now.
Let's just start with a basic timeline. So start with, let's say, what you do during a normal day. Yesterday was Saturday, right?
Right.
So when you woke up, were your other kids already awake?
No.
Were they all three still asleep? Or you said
Jennifer woke me up.
Okay, but the teenagers were in bed?
Mm-hmm.
That's what teenagers do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting. I mean, I was just in my chair all day.
Okay. So you didn't, I think I'm going to Walmart or go out to eat or anything like that? No trips outside?
Didn't go anywhere.
The detective asks this question because they have CCTV footage placing Paul at a gas station at 12:34 a.m. By outright denying that he left his home, it's clear that Paul is lying. However, when detectives ask the question minutes later, Paul realizes they might be setting up a trap and changes his story.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you didn't leave your house pretty much at all yesterday? Not last night? Certainly not after dinner? What time do you think you went to bed?
Gosh, it was late. Actually, it did go out. I went and got a 6-pack of beer around midnight at Town Pump.
Going back to the timeline last night, you went to the Town Pump to get a 6-pack beer. And both of your oldest were still up. And
Yeah, actually, my son went with me.
oh, your son went with you. Okay. And you guys were gone from your house. That's what, gotta be 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
That's like, if you get the light, maybe it's 5 tops.
Oh.
The fact that Paul's son, Joseph, was with him on that trip is actually a crucial detail. Detectives now have another potential key witness who can prove or disprove Paul's movements that day. However, while this interview establishes that Paul has both a motive and a timeline that aligns with Lauren's murder, it's not enough evidence for detectives to make an arrest. For now, they have no choice but to let Paul go. While this is unfortunate and potentially dangerous, they were able to obtain one of Paul's belongings, his iPhone. Quickly, officers discovered that Paul was in fact at Lauren's house the day of the murder by locating a photo Paul took in front of her house just hours before her death. By combining Paul's claim that he was with his son that night with phone data placing him at Lauren's house, a crucial question can be made. Did Paul's son, Joseph, also go into Lauren's house the night she was murdered? If what Paul said during the interrogation is true, then Joseph should have been with Paul the entire night, which would include going to Lauren's house. This is a question that detectives needed to solve, and solve fast, as both the potential suspects are roaming free and could cause further damage if the case were to come to a standstill. So, a few hours later, Paul's son, Joseph, would be brought to the interrogation room. The plan for this interrogation was very straightforward. Simply get a timeline for where Joseph was the day of his stepmom's death and see if Joseph will admit to him, or at least his father, going to Lauren's house that night.
Let's chat, man. What was this? There's all kinds of chitter chatter out there. My name's Jeremy Kopp. I'm the detective sergeant for the sheriff's office. Okay. Obviously, you know what happened to Dad. Given that, then I need to be able to sit down and be able to talk to you. Right. So let's go to Saturday and just walk me through Saturday.
So Saturday, I got up around like maybe 12-ish, around 12.
Is that kind of a typical on the weekends or no?
Usually get up around like 10 maybe.
Okay.
And then my daddy's not feeling the best, so we usually would work on Saturday with Alden. We were modeling a trailer, but we were kind of sick. I didn't really feel like working here because I was kind of run down. So we just hung out all day. And we were up later than we should have been. And then we stayed up for a while. And then 12 came around. And then me and my dad went on a beer run. I went with him to the Town Pump.
Okay.
By Albertsons.
Okay.
And so he got a 6-pack of Voodoo Ranger.
Of what kind?
IPA, Voodoo Ranger.
Voodoo Ranger. Okay.
Joseph's timeline is almost identical to that of both his father and sister, who was also interviewed. This is troubling because the detective knows the story is a lie. At some point during that time frame, Paul went to Lauren's house. That means someone isn't telling the truth. The detective would notice this and pivot, starting to ask some more direct questions to Joseph.
Did you go?
I just go with him, just because.
Yeah. Do you hang with your dad quite a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, you and your dad pretty tight?
Yeah. So we just...
Fair enough to say.
Whatever we do, yeah.
Okay.
And then we came back to the house. And then Natalie was up till around 11. I mean 1.
Okay.
Baby went to sleep around like 7:38.
Somebody, I ain't gonna lie. If you lie, I get it's his dad, so it's like, that's not even his real mom. So it's like, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you lie for your daddy, you can go down with you. No cap.
So you don't recall hearing doors or anything open when you go to bed?
Right.
Nobody contacts you or anything? Okay.
Despite the detective's tries, Joseph doesn't seem to budge on his story. Additionally, the suspicion that he could have been implicated in Lauren's murder at this point is fairly long-winded, so the detective decides it's best to not confront Joseph any further until more factual evidence can prove he's lying. Luckily, that evidence wouldn't take long to present itself. Remember the bloody footprints found in the snow in Lauren's backyard? Well, a few days after the initial interviews, detectives began analyzing the footprints to try and determine who they could be from. Immediately, detectives noticed there were 2 shoe prints in the snow, one noticeably larger than the other, meaning 2 people were implicated in Lauren's murder, one with bigger feet and one with smaller. When the prints were further analyzed, they were confirmed to be from 2 different shoe models, the Walmart Interceptor boots and the Merrill Reflex. And if we take a look at photos of Joseph taken from Paul's phone, we can see that Joseph would commonly wear the Walmart Interceptor boots. Additionally, if we look at the CCTV from the Town Pump gas station, we can see that Paul was wearing the Merrill Reflex. Paul had undoubtedly killed Lauren, and Joseph had come along with him. Detectives realized that Joseph was the key to all of this. He had been there with his father when Lauren was killed, and now they were certain of it. In his last interview, Joseph had stuck to the same timeline as his father, a timeline that investigators could now prove was a complete lie. With this leverage, detectives believed that with the right amount of pressure, they could break Joseph and force him to confess everything.
His mom. Why wasn't...
Due to the intense nature of what detectives are about to...
So why wasn't Paul so stuck about your mom, which is this lady, I'm guessing, but he cares so much about the other one?
do... They would bring in Joseph's biological mother, Paul's ex-wife, to provide comfort, hoping that her presence would further push him to finally tell the truth.
Just tell the truth.
So, Joe, yesterday you and I kind of talked about what everybody had done on Saturday.
Well, I got up at noon-ish. And Dad and Baby and Natalie were already up. And we were sitting in the living room. Daddy was in his chair. Dad was on the couch. Baby, she's just whatever she was.
As the interview progressed, Joseph's timeline remained largely consistent with what he had stated the day before. The detective knew he wasn't getting the full truth, and that meant it was time to apply more pressure.
That's pretty accurate to what you told me yesterday. And I was hoping that today you and I could break through that and we could talk about what actually happened. Because if I can't get you to be honest with me, I can't help you, but I'm not willing to give up on you. I think that we can get through it. I can see the weight on you. And the only way I can help is if you and I are honest with each other. Joe, I can't help. I can't do anything if you and I aren't honest with each other in here. Okay? Joe, please. Joe. Okay.
It seems to be working. Slowly, Joseph's defenses are starting to crumble. At this point, all the detective can do is sit with him as the reality of the situation closes in.
Your dad took you.
No, he didn't.
He wasn't alone.
Then who was it? I don't know. After the long night, because I had no idea. I had my boots on in my own house.
Joe, we've got to be honest with each other.
Completely honest with you.
How did your boots that are at your residence, those same prints end up at the crime scene? Joe, be thoughtful, be truthful. I can't do anything if you and I can't be truthful. Was it just your dad?
Say something.
Joe.
Come on, son. Come on, Daddy. Come on.
Joe.
I know you love your daddy, son.
Joe.
Bad, bro.
Just.
This detective don't even want him to, like.
Come on.
He knows.
Son,
They
if
already
you
know.
know something, just say it.
When did he leave? Did he leave you? Did he make you go?
Well,
Was that why? Did you go to? Was
I
it?
should get him
It was
to
after, before the beer. I meant to the beer. Joe, help me understand. Help me understand that it was just him. Help me understand when he left. Help me understand why I can believe that you weren't there. Help me understand it. How far in the house did you go?
I didn't go.
Did you just wait outside?
No, I stayed in my house.
Joe.
Joe is trying to
son?
keep it solid. I ain't gonna lie.
Why would he frame his own son? Joe. Your boobs are there. Help me. Help me tell the story.
I did not think it was gonna take this route.
Was it you or him? Tell me.
It was him.
It was him? How do you know? He was what?
He usually doesn't say to that.
He did
that. I thought he was married.
So he sent you to bed.
He said I love you so.
Why is he still lying now?
He said he loves you, son.
I didn't know he was going to do this to me. My sisters. I didn't know.
The pressure had broken Joseph. After relentless questioning, he had finally come clean about what transpired mere days earlier. Months later, when the detective recounted this moment with Joseph, he would burst into tears, overcome by the weight of the situation.
We just love you right now. Okay? So just sit with your son and love him.
Sorry. Not my fault for letting you go. You couldn't be with me.
The detectives had what they wanted, and there was nothing left to do but finally wrap this case up.
Arrest this man, Paul, bro.
Paul's trial would be a long and drawn-out process, stretching over 2 years after his arrest.
Sheesh.
During this time, he remained in the Gallatin County Detention Center, where he quickly became a problem inmate. On February 7th, roughly 1 month after his arrest, tensions escalated when Paul called out another inmate, Buckley, accusing him of being a liar. Buckley responded with a warning, "Don't disrespect me like that." But before he could say more, Paul threw a punch, hitting Buckley in the face and sparking a full-blown fist fight. Paul would be charged with assault following the fight, only adding to the array of charges against him.
What's wrong,
Paul
man?
would eventually meet his fate on February 4th, 2020, nearly 2 years after his arrest. He'd be convicted of deliberate homicide, attempted deliberate homicide, and tampering with evidence, and would be sentenced to 220 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
To the charge of attempt to commit deliberate homicide of Ashley guilty.
Woo! Oh, 200 years. You ain't seen like, hey, so you're packed up. Like, whoa. Yeah, they got him gone. Let me know if y'all mess with these crime reactions, man. I do. You know what I'm saying? They're very interesting. That's gonna do it for this one, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out my links. Check out my other videos. And leave a lot of love. That's gonna do it.